Well, I mean, I do want to thank you for coming by the way, and joining us today for this recording. I know it was a little short notice, but everyone else who has recorded with me has run away at this point, and you were the only one left.
I am your only hope.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Without you, I'd probably actually be, like, dead.
Well, I mean, you made it into playoffs, so I mean, at least there's that.
Oh, the spoilers! You can't say that!
People have to watch another video for that. It's okay.
Oh, you're right! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Double Dip Draft. I am Cabral, coach of the Hatchlinging Sandslashers. Joining me today is someone new, a new fresh face for us.
It's Firebolt from the Minnesota Magikarps.
Yes, and we're here talking about the Platinum Division and the final matches for Week 7 to determine playoffs and who gets to go on. There's only a couple matches we're really relying on, but there's been quite a few really fun matches. Like, we have 3 people from previously who were like basically guaranteed no matter what happened, they were in playoffs. However, you're still waiting on a little bit of info of 1 or 2 battles to determine the actual order of who makes it where and what seeding for playoffs.
And especially this week, there were some really important matches that had big playoff implications, and we're going to take a look at them just in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely the case. Would you like to introduce us to our first match?
All right. Well, our first match of the week is going to be Spood of the Southtown Sandslashers versus Jason of the Hartford Honchkrows.
Yes, and at this point, Jason, I believe, is still viable for playoffs if Cody loses this fight, and it depends on the differential.
Yeah, it looks like there's a Spood being at -5. And Jason being at -7. Basically, whoever wins this match is going to be likely the one taking the 4th place spot.
Yes. Now, there is a chance, I believe, for Dom to still squeak his way in if there's some certain, like, differentials, and depending on how Dom's match goes, there's a chance that he can sneak on in. But depending how this goes, I think Cody's likely the favorite here, especially looking at the team preview and the lineup here. But we'll have to see how the match plays out, of course. But with the team preview, Deoxys Defense kind of sits on this team, I realize.
I mean, it really does. Its only real problem is going to be Melmetal. But even then, it's going to be one of those things where he can easily just keep on recovering and just wait it out.
And one of the things to potentially watch out for if Cody wasn't prepared for it is Guzzlord. And, as it's a little, I say, frail to a degree, it has a stupid amount of health. But the thing about it...
And also, it's just got super huge attack. So, does. I mean, like, you got to watch out for that doing just a massive amounts of damage if you're not ready for it.
Yeah. But with that being said, I think we can go ahead and get started and see how this plays out. Cody starting off with Wigglytuff and Chatot coming back in. Jason has brought Chatot, I think, every single week so far. They both double into something, and Cody did not want to double into his Cryogonal.
Right, and so obviously we see this Melmetal come out, and it's gonna do some decent damage to Deoxys Defense, but just to recover basically makes it recover all of that damage and. Double Iron Bash, although it's doing chip damage every single time it hits, you only have 8 of those. So that's going to run out pretty quickly if you keep on using them and not doing any sustained damage to it. Yeah. So Chatot comes back out after a while when Jason figures out that's not going to work, and he brings Cryogonal back out.
Yeah. And at this point, one of the things about it, too, I realize, is pressure is really nice on Deoxys Defense. We do see a block come out here, by the way. It's been a long time since we've seen one of those in play.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely is. But Darkest Lariat does have a little more at 16, and there's only 16 recovers. So actually, Cody does outlast Darkest Lariat and Double Iron Bash because of pressure on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Blacephalon comes out. The other scary thing, because a Shadow Ball from this, especially if it's Specs, does a lot of damage.
And he actually used Overheat, but, bringing out Drampa tanks that a lot.
Yep.
Dragon Pulse over to Melmetal doesn't do a whole lot, so he has to switch back out to Deoxys again.
Yep, click on Darkest Lariats, because I believe we're down to no Iron Bashes at this point.
Yep, it's out, so... Darkest Lariat is all he can do right now.
Yeah, Blacephalon coming back
actually
out.
It's switching back out using spikes.
Yep, it does disappear on the animation here, but spikes are up. Just one layer of them right now, I believe.
Yeah, and you can see Calgary just getting hit by that. It's toxic, doesn't have a whole lot of health left, so it switches back out.
Yep, Cody Guzzlord
comes in.
Out.
Yeah, and the Dragon Pulse just instantly kills it.
Yeah. Boombur's coming out. I believe this is a scarfed. Actually, no, that's not scarfed. If it was scarfed, it would have outsped Crowgonal, but it was not scarfed.
I'm actually I'm also very surprised that it stayed out. I mean, it knew that an ice attack was going to kill it.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't see Chatter this time around. That has also come every week, which basically is a 100% confusion chance.
So we got the Hail coming out with the Aurora Veil. That obviously just makes sense.
Yep.
Putting Mummy on the
Metagross.
Yeah, on the Metagross there. That's good.
Yeah, always nice if you want to inflict any burns or any status changes to it. Clear Body is no longer there.
Right.
Dragon Ball still doing 39% with Aurora Veil is kind of crazy, but at this point, Flash Fire on this does so good, and this is a Specs Blacephalon. And Eruption just basically at this point sweeps with Melmetal not appreciating a hit from Eruption because it just kind of dies.
Just as soon as he had Blacephalon down to a point where Eruption was going to kill it, other than that, Melmetal and Vanillux were just weak to fire, so it was just a matter of one-shotting those as soon as they came out.
Yeah.
And that's a sweep, 6-0 for Spood.
Yeah, a much needed 6-0 for him, which at this point does guarantee playoffs. And I think guarantees all the positions. We'll go into the brackets later and also talk about what playoffs looks like and who's going where. Along with that, this Typhlosion, by the way, was scarfed, which makes a huge difference to outspeed these other Pokemon here. But Cody very much appreciating just a solid 6-0 there and just ensuring his place in playoffs. So that means at this point now, Nihilus is playing just for differential and some decent points. I don't think Nihilus can move from third place at this point. Actually,
so with the way Spood ended up with that 6-0, actually put him at a +1.
Okay.
Which means that with Nihilus at a +4, all he needs to do is lose by, I think, a 4-0 or like worse, 4, 5, or 6-0.
Okay.
And he would actually move down to 4th place below Spood.
Interesting. I gotcha. Okay. I see here. I do have the stats from the previous week actually right here for us to take a gander at real quick. Yeah, so the -5 and that was a +4. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. That is the case with Cody being at a 4-3 +1 at that point, and Nihilus at this point still being a 4-2 +4. So if Dom does win this, Nihilus can drop down to 4th place. But we'll have to see if that happens. Looking at team preview, looks like Dom brought some Pokemon he has not been using at all this season. This being the last match, probably wanted to give them the chance to see the sunshine and the light of day.
Oh, wait, did we introduce the teams yet?
Oh, we have not introduced the teams yet. Let me take care of that. I have already mentioned one of them, Dom. being the coach of the Cincinnati Cyndaquils, and Nihilus, who we've also been talking about and mentioned, being the coach of the Dallas Duckletts. Yeah, as we were saying about Dom's team lineup, he has brought Pokemon he hasn't brought before. They're very much just seeing the light of day for the first time for Rosalia. Lapras has only come one other time, as well as Clefairy.
I think it's interesting. I think if I'm looking at this correctly, there is no Mega Pokemon in this lineup, and there's no S tier, I believe.
I believe Nihilus has Mega Blastoise, actually.
Oh, I was talking about Dom. Sorry.
Oh, Dom's team. Yep, no S tiers and no Megas at all. Dom does have Mega T-Tar, which has served him really well. And look at the lineup here. Actually, probably does really well against Nihilus' team. But I think Dom wanted to bring things he hadn't brought before for his match.
Okay. Still, I mean, Lapras is really bulky and kind of scary to have to, like, it can just sit on damage and just take it.
Oh, yeah.
Salazzle's cool because...
Also.
Oh, yeah. Dusclops, the same thing. Salazzle's really good about dealing with the two ice types at two ice types and one steel type that Nihilus has on his team right now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the case. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and see how this match played out. We do have Rosalia starting, likely, potentially, I don't know, getting up some toxic spikes or something along those lines. Oh, wait, no, that's a sunny day.
Yeah, so that means that Ninetales is not going to be able to throw out a Aurora Veil.
Yep. And wow, 15% in Sun and Eviolite. That is actually insane. This does do Rapid Spin, which doesn't do too much. Stop clicking Calm Mind. I'm surprised we don't see any Toxic or anything like that. That could have been really nice to run against Nihilus' team.
And so as soon as the Sun was done, he put out Alola Ninetales to get the hail up. Did not put up an Aurora Veil, but immediately brought out the Arctozolt, and it's gonna do a shit ton of damage. Especially with its Slush Rush, it's going to be really fast. It's going to do a lot of damage, but it does get scared out by Salazzle.
Yeah, which does 42%, and the Hail Chip actually brings us within range, but I believe Dom clicked on Dragon Tail here, not realizing it was a lower priority move. But Flamethrower would have killed this thing again, but either way, Dom's got up all the things that he needs. He's got rocks, got webs.
Rocks and webs, yep.
Nihilus' team does not enjoy those things at all. Tailwind is helpful, though.
Yeah, Tailwind gets out, but then obviously dies to the Surf.
Yep. Man, Arctozolt taking so much damage off of rocks is kind of crazy. Bolt Beak not doing anything to Taserface over here. And yeah, tries again, but
just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And all Vikavolt needs to do is roost some more, and he can just tank all of Arctozolt's moves all day. And I believe it had a Life Orb because it kept on losing HP. So
it was Life Orb.
It was just a matter of waiting it out.
Yep, Bugbuzz's doing a nice chunk of damage to this thing. This thing getting off some nice damage here. With 65, Dom didn't want to roost. Alola Ninetales does come back out. Dom at this point clicking on Bugbuzz doesn't do anything. And at this point, this Ninetales is faster, and Dom knows it, so he swaps back out to Lapras to expect a Blizzard. And there it is.
And there it is, yep.
You're right, though. There is no Aurora Veil. I don't know if Nihilus just didn't click it, or if he just didn't bring it for this match.
I mean, it's just a very common move to have on your Alola Ninetales because you get up the hail immediately. You're usually faster, so you get the Aurora Veil up, and then you just don't take damage. You know.
And Dom just being stuck into a Roar, by the way, which this is doing quite a bit of damage already. That Ninetales earlier took near 30% health.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the rocks up, I mean, you just keep on roaring, and the Pokemon are just going to keep on taking damage as they switch out. At this point in time, the Ninetales is down to like 30% health, and would take 25 on rocks again if it came back out.
Yep. Dom doing a good read there for the Aura Sphere and burning the Blastoise, which is nice just for the extra bit of chip, especially in the hail.
The Scald also burning Dusclops as well.
Yep.
Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's going to take some damage and just kind of wait out this Blastoise until they both die. Because the Ice Beam's going to kill, and then the Burn's going to kill. So.
Yep. At this point, Dom's Pokemon have taken too much damage. Taserface, of course, being too low to come in on rocks. And Ninetales coming back in and being too slow to just deal with this. But Dom getting a little bit of Protect, hoping to get some HP back. But at this point, Empoleon's just too fast, hits too hard. Especially with that Defiant going on.
And with that, now this secures the number 3 spot in the rankings.
Which means at this point now we have one other battle to really determine where the rest of the rankings sit, but the victory does go to Nihilus. Before we get to that final battle, we have another match, though, between one of our new players, if you want to go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah, okay, so we got Paisley of the Golf Breeze Goodras versus it's Menma of the... help me out with this one.
Minnesota Jynx?
The Minnesota Jynx, that's right. Another new team.
They're like across town from you. You're the Minnesota Magikarp. The Minnesota Jynx are just down the road.
I'm actually not sure where they're from. But
Minnesota.
Well, okay. Yeah, I got that.
One of the things I realized in team preview here, and you can't see it on the regular, usual team preview we show before the match starts, but in this match, Paisley's Pokemon are all females, and Menma's Pokemon are all males. So if anyone ran a track, that would have been pretty crazy.
Yeah, that would have been fun. I don't know if they necessarily knew that going into the match, though.
No, they're all randomized as it is. I've thought about it at some point, actually just doing it just because I could. But I don't know how well it would work because it's very RNG based. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah. Looking at team preview, by the way, I just want to say this. Menma has brought Nidoking, Scizor, T-Tar, and Dracozolt to like every single fight. For good reason, to be fair.
They're really great.
They work well together.
The T-Tar is not Mega, though, right?
No, this is not a Mega T-Tar. That was Dom.
Because it's Mega Scizor. That's right.
Mega Scizor. Paisley, by the way, having that swap out from earlier when she first joined the season, has got some good Pokemon on her team now. We do see Electivire here, Scolipede with its speed boost, Incineroar is a stunning Pokemon. Very good.
And then, of course, you got your, more of a gimmick Pokemons with Mimikyu having the disguise to take a free hit, and, of course, Chinchino with Skill Link so that it can do 5-hit moves constantly.
Yes. With that being said, though, this fight, there's if I'm remembering correctly, actually, did Menma also had a chance to catch up Cody here at this point, being at a 2? No, actually, never mind. Cody got locked in because he got a 4. Never mind.
Right. So this didn't really have any playoff implications.
Yep.
Although I think at this point in time, Paisley was just playing for getting that one win.
Yep, getting that first victory, and let's see if she nabbed it. Start off Incineroar because it's honestly a good start. Intimidate's always nice. Earth Power doing a lot of damage though.
Yeah, I'm honestly really surprised it didn't kill. Brings out Scolipede.
Yep.
Which brings up Mantine.
Yep.
Fair enough. Predicts the earthquake.
Yep. Electivire coming out, just eating an air slash. Does nothing to this thing.
And this Electivire is insane. Uses earthquake to take out Nidoking immediately.
Yep.
Mimikyu comes out to eat an earthquake.
Mm-hmm. At this point, Scizor comes back out, Paisley being wise and just clicking Will-O-Wisp because it does so good against anything. Most of Menma's team, if you just quickly look at it, is very physically heavy for physical attack stuff.
So, does end up getting a free Swords Dance.
Yep. At this point, Flamethrower is just absolutely free. Clicking Swords Dance again, hoping for a little more damage, but Bullet Punch only doing 38 at a 2.5 times attack.
And of course, the Flamethrower kills, but would have died to burn anyway.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Shuckaberry didn't do too much to dull that Earthquake. Pretty sure that the Primeape is banded there, doing an absolute ton of damage.
Oh, yeah. Drain Punch getting off that little bit of extra HP from T-Tar. Paisley doing a good job just swiftly taking out a couple of Pokemon. Of course, though, now they're even. Dracozolt is likely Sand Rush.
And luckily, just, able to take that Draco Meteor with the Hobbenberry,
yep.
Dulling it and then killing it back with Dragon Pulse. That's really good. Does die to a close combat from Primeape.
Yep. Which very much Mema didn't want to stay in on. Clicking Earthquake, Paisley getting that speed boost off, but going back in the Chinchino to hit likely with a Rock Blast. This thing does get Skill Link, which is such a fun ability.
And absolutely does use Rock Blast. Mema switched back in with the Primeape, so it doesn't do a ton of damage. About 60.
Yep.
Looks like 62%.
Yep. Paisley playing a bit bold. Did not click Earthquake, which is good because Scolipede does die to an Earthquake, I believe. Rock Slide at a times 2 with Swords Dance, not doing enough, but surviving the Air Slash. I'm not 100% sure if that was a roll or not. Either way, she does get the kill on the Mantine, and at this point, Primeape is not fast enough. Earthquake just kills it.
Yeah. Again, that could have just as easily been a crit on that, and Scolipede might have died, but at this point in time, that's all a what if. Yeah. Because this is what happened, and we have Paisley getting their first victory with a 2-0.
Yeah, very solid. Well played. She made some really good reads. She did her homework on certain Pokemon, and just did such a good job. So good on you, Paisley. Congrats on your first victory. And she doesn't make it playoffs, as we had said before, but still, it's just nice getting your first victory, especially because you came in the middle of the season.
Absolutely.
Well, with that being said, there's one final match.
And this one is kind of a big one. You can look at the stats and you can say, well, there's a 12-point gap.
Yep.
Between first and second place as far as differential is concerned.
Yes, and the last match is, by the way, against Kenneth of the Neerdowell Nidokings and IDM4 Brussels Espeons. And you're right with that 7-point gap. Kenneth being at a 5-1 plus 13, and IDM being at a 6-0 plus 25. IDM being the only other player to be undefeated, along with Vincent the Hurling Haluchas. Go check out Pearl Division, by the way. Holy crap, that week is insane. Wow. But, so we don't dive into that, back to this one. For Kenneth to get that first place, to get that first week bye, he literally has to 6-0 IDM. And if he doesn't do that, then he's in second place. So as soon as one Pokemon's lost, that's it. IDM is just...
So all Kenneth had to do was 6-0 someone that hadn't lost a single game all season.
Yeah. And not just that, if you look, plus 25, that is really high score at the same time. IDM has the only narrow loss at this point IDM has, or narrow win, is against Dom. And that was based on I think, 20 or so % chance for a certain move to just OHKO his Chandelure. And IDM won that because of the low roll Dom had on his attack. Otherwise, Dom would have won that fight. But that was the closest thing. At that point, IDM won by 2. Otherwise, he's won, I think, by 4 or 5, if not 6, in his other matches.
Wow. I mean, I think we've talked about it before. IDM is just really, really good at this game.
Yeah, he's got an actual Pokedex in his brain, I think. It's surgically implanted, and I think I'm concerned for him. But with that being said, looking at team preview, We do see Altaria Mega here, which I think is one of the few times it has come. Alolan Muck is so good. It's here again. Sigilyph is good. Corviknight's good. There's a lot of hard hitters. Silvally, don't know what it is. And Tauros, which has put in a lot of good work. Kenneth has a stunning team. And that's not to say IDM's team isn't stunning, because Mew is here, and it's very good. Chandelure is such a good Pokemon. We do see Klinklang. Gotta watch out for Shift Gear, because that hurts. Not fun move. Hurt move.
Yep. Swampert's always been super strong. It's just a really, really good water ground type.
Yep.
I want to mention, though, the Chandelure is vying for Kill Leader this season as well.
Yeah. We'll have to see what gets that Kill Leader. I believe that's going to be announced, though, not in these videos, but likely in the Discord. And if it's not in the Discord, it might be part of the Dippy's Awards, actually, is what it might be a part of.
Yes, I believe there is a Dippy for Kill Leader this summer.
Yeah. We'll probably have a separate video going over playoffs and Dippies and a bunch of other stuff. But for now, let's see if Kenneth can get the 6-0 on one of the best players in the league. Starting off really fast with that Altaria going into Klinklang. IDM knows that this Altaria is a huge issue if he does not kill it.
So yeah, it did survive that earthquake with that Shuckaberry.
Yep.
Obviously that would have killed otherwise. So Kenneth decides to switch out to Corviknight, which is really takes this damage really well. Obviously we had the Walkenberry that stopped it from doing a lot of damage with that wild charge.
Yep, and IDM does not kill this Tauros, which used close combat, which, by the way, Life Orb taking 10, it is so close to death. Kenneth taking that out before it does die, and taunting the big bird here, but Kenneth's just clicking U-turn going into Silvally. Silvally normal, actually.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Obviously, it's not running the plate, but what is it running?
I believe it's Expert Belt from my knowledge, but I cannot guarantee that. I'm not sure what it is running, but I think Kenneth wanted the move variety on it and the item to help him out some. So I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it's always nice having an item. And honestly,
this Altaria, Altaria is coming back out, and it there's not too much that it can do against it. Obviously, Mew tries the Earthquake. It does a decent amount of damage, but does not kill. Earthquake just immediately kills Chandelure, so Chandelure didn't get any more kills. Earthquake immediately kills Raichu as well.
Yep.
And it's just
Roost just in case of a Sucker Punch, but IDM's running Night Slash because at that point any priority move would have killed this thing, and Kenneth knew that, and he gets the 6-0. One of the things I want to mention, the Mew is a transform set, which we've seen with Ditto over in San Fran First and Pearl Division. He had a Ditto with a Scarf. Likely this Mew is the same situation. Clicking transform and then outspeeding this Altaria. One of the things that that Kenneth is running intentionally is Frustration. It's very much like Return, but the opposite direction. So what happens when you click transform is it copies your moves, but not your friendship levels or anything like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So friendship is because you have to manually nix the amount of friendship in there, because frustration is based on the lack of friendship. So same amount of damage and everything like that, but transform doesn't copy frustration's power rate, which likely would have actually killed Altaria. I don't know for certain. It might not have actually, but Earthquake was the only viable move, and Kenneth made sure he didn't run anything that would kill him, and he intended for that against Mew, which is kind of crazy.
That is pretty crazy, yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, Kenneth is now first place and the Platinum Division. I almost said Diamond version. I almost said Pearl. I thought Pearl, then my brain said, nah, Diamond. Oh, no, hold on.
So for the Platinum Division.
Yeah, go ahead and name the rankings out. We'll talk about the actual brackets here in a bit.
So first place is going to go to Kenneth of the Neerdowell Nidokings. In second place is going to be IDM4 of the Brussels Espeons.
Both of them being at a 6-1 plus 19, by the way.
6-1 plus 19, yes. The third place goes to Nihilus, the Dallas Duckletts. He's sitting at a 5-2 plus 7.
Yep.
And then the fourth place is going to Spood of the Southtown Sandslashers, 4-3 plus 1.
Yeah, and there's who's making the playoffs. We'll come back to that. I'm going to name off the rest of the players here, and we'll go into talking about what playoffs is going to look like. In fifth place, we have Dom of the Cincinnati Cyndaquils going at a 2-5 minus 6, tied with Menma of the Minnesota Jynx at a 2-5 minus 6, but Dom having the head-to-head, having beaten Menma, is of course ahead of him in fifth place. Jason of the Hartford Honchkrows also at a 2-5, but minus 13. And Paisley, after getting her first victory, is in eighth place with a 1-6 at a minus 21.
All right. And we have our completed bracket here. Obviously, we have a couple of spoilers from other videos as well, seeing who's in here. But you'll see this completed bracket at the end of the other videos as well. And
so go ahead and check those out, by the way. If you haven't kept up with the matches or the fights and you want to know who's going where, go ahead and go check those out, because from here on, we're going to be talking about playoffs and what that's going to look like.
So this being Platinum Division, there were two people, the top two slots, that are getting buys.
Yes. I want to bring this over as well for this other one. But anyways, go ahead.
So we have both Kenneth and IDM that are going to be in the top and bottom brackets. Yes. But both of them are getting buys for the first week. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be a tough match for anyone getting past that.
Yeah. And for the other two buys, Vincent of the Hurling Haluchas, having been undefeated the whole season, is making it into his buy into one of the upper brackets. And then Bananas of the Don't Drop That Todenes is the other buy. He got first place in Diamond Division. And they basically get to skip the first week, and we get to move on then to talk about the actual playoff matches. So we've split it up basically, and how it works is you have the other players with only 2 from Platinum at this point, but 3 from the other 2 divisions being spread out and fighting to make their way up those rankings. With the very top of the bracket, we have the second place Diamond Seed versus the, I believe, third place Pearl Seed. Yes, we do have Scoots versus Aurora in that bracket, and then whoever wins that fight will go on to fight Kenneth of the Neerdowell Nidokings.
In the second match of the first week is going to be the Dallas Duckletts, so third place of Platinum versus the fourth place of the Diamond. It's going to be Dallas Duckletts versus the Hashling and Sandslashers.
That's my team.
And obviously, the winner of that will go on to fight Vincent in the second week.
Oh, great. And below that, we do have Nick of the Lowville Lanterns in second place Pearl, fighting fourth place Platinum, which is Spood of the Southtown Sandslashers. Whoever wins that fight is going to move on to fight Bananas the week after that.
And in the fourth match of the week, we have Claire of the Maryland Manectrics playing me, the Minnesota Magikarps.
Yes. And whoever wins that fight gets to fight IDM.
IDM, yep.
What a playoffs bracket. So basically for the next 4 weeks, I believe, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
unless we're doing semifinals and finals the same week. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out, and we're going to have to wait and see for sure when semifinals and grand finals is played. In grand finals, we do have a bronze match, and we do have, of course, first and second place to find out who's going to be sitting where. It's going to be very interesting looking at the matches coming up for this week.
It's very interesting. I'm actually I'm very interested to see who's going to move on, and then every single one of those bye teams are insane.
Yeah, there isn't a single team that's not insane.
I think between all of them, there's 3 losses.
Yeah, because Vincent is undefeated. Kenneth only lost once, IDM lost once, and Bananas only lost once, with Vincent going undefeated. By the way, can I just say my bracket's a little... I think mine's stacked. I know yours is also really difficult as well, but I have Aurora, Scoots, Kenneth, and Vincent all in one bracket.
Well, now but you have to take a look at this, saying by the time you make it, if you make it past Vincent,
it's a big if.
Only one of Scoots, Aurora, and Kenneth are going to be able to move on to fight you.
Honestly, that's going to be. I think that's the bracket to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I think Aurora versus Scoots is so good, and then also fighting Kenneth on top of that. Oh yeah, that's gonna be really fun. I personally think. You versus Claire.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, you versus Claire. I'm also super excited for. It'll be really interesting with the IDM fights. Honestly, all these matches I think are really good. I can't just keep saying that, but I think for me personally, I'm keeping an eye on the very top bracket. I want to see how Scoots, Aurora, and Kenneth go. And where that goes from there.
And of course, I'm interested in seeing if Vincent will ever lose a game or will go undefeated all the way to grand finals.
Yeah, someone's got to put a stop to him at some point. I hope it's not me. I don't want that pressure.
But yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be really good playoffs. I was really happy with how the season turned out, and the divisions were a lot closer than I thought they would be.
Yeah, definitely. I still think Platinum in some areas felt a little stacked compared to some of the new players who were in there. But Pearl was genuinely a really fun division. How did you enjoy being in Pearl Division?
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved just having that, every match counted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that. That's really cool. And by the way, before we wrap up here, feel free to, of course, I want to reiterate, go check out the other videos. Cody and I are tearing down the Platinum Division and really getting into it because, wow, what a week.
You mean the Pearl Division?
Sorry, Pearl. Goodness. It's one of those days.
Yeah.
But we'll be going into Pearl, tearing that down, talking about it, and then I don't know who Cody's with, but he'll be going into the Diamond Division and really talking about that one as well. I don't know who's going to host the playoffs recaps at all. One of the things about it is, I don't know if you've noticed, everyone who's hosted before is actually in playoffs.
Yeah. It might come down to just someone who has to talk about their own match.
It might. One of the ideas is that we might break it up. So maybe I will talk about the bottom bracket with Aurora, and the top bracket we talk about between Cody and Nick or Claire or something. We might break it up that way.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But with that being said, all right, final predictions. Who wins the whole thing? I know we're in it, of course we want to win, but realistically, all right, who do you think makes it to grand finals?
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Vincent versus IDM in grand finals.
Oh, that'd be kind of crazy. One of the things
I think Vincent has said that he wants to fight IDM.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the only place that they can do it, is going to be grand final.
You know what would be crazy? If it was IDM versus Kenneth again.
That would be interesting. I honestly really don't want to see another repeat.
Yeah.
Obviously, IDM will want that win.
Oh yeah.
Against
IDM will
Kemet.
figure something out. One of the things as well about this is Claire's been doing really well this season. And I know you fight Claire and everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if Claire makes it to like semifinals, if not grand finals. Like Claire's been having such a good season, I feel like.
No, I'm gonna have to try to stop that.
You're definitely gonna have to try and stop that. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm just based on season performance so far. I think Claire's done really well. You've also had a really good season, by the way. You had a lot of fun matches to watch. You did a good job.
Well, thank you. I've had a lot of fun. I think my team composition is just a little bit better than it was last season.
Yeah. But with that being said, please check out playoffs. I'm not sure how it's going to go with the video or anything like that, but we're going to figure that out because the matches start this week. I already scheduled my match out, actually, and I'm very nervous.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for joining us. We hope to see you in playoffs. Take care. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy the last few weeks of Double Dip Draft. Take care, and thanks for joining us on the lightning round.
Maybe a little bit late for that.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.